I'm telling you now, bro. I'm telling you now, as you are right now. You need to stop watching movies, bro. You need to stop watching movies. Those things that you see on the screen, where people are acting like people that are not even real, or people that are dead, and they take something that could possibly take 40, 50 years and put it into a 2 hour clip. I'm telling you, bro, you need to stop watching movies because it destroys your perception. And it's something that I've come to realize just analyzing myself and looking at myself as a person. The reason I say this is because watching movies will bring you a lot of unhappiness. Because movies are not real. They're a product. They're tangible. You can hold a CD. You can hold the movie in a USB stick. But ultimately, they're all created from what Napoleon Hill would describe as infinite intelligence. They created in the ether. It's not real. It's not reality. It's not man-made. I'm sorry, it's not God-made. It's man-made. So movies are gonna destroy your perception. Because when I look at it for myself, every time that I watch certain movies, for example, I'll give you Rocky. Watch Rocky. After watching it, you feel super motivated and super inspired to go and do what you just saw. Even I'm sure kids watch kung fu movies, you watch Karate Kid. You wanna go outside and you wanna imitate it. You wanna do it again. You wanna bring what you saw on the screen into your real life. Now this is where a movie is gonna hurt you. In that they're gonna take something that could take possibly decades for you to master. They create a highlight reel, a montage. Entertaining as fuck. Entertaining as fuck. So imagine in your head your dopamine is just pop, 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 exploding in your head. Because it's what you want to see. You ultimately pick the movie. They're gonna create a highlight reel for something that possibly took 20, 30 years to master. And it's gonna be done in the space of 2 hours. And that's gonna fuck with your head because now when you actually try and go do it outside, you're gonna see, man, it's not the way that it is in the movie. I feel like as a society, movies have damaged us so much. One of the most damaging things, especially movies with people. You know, watching cartoons, I'm sure like our brains can establish the difference between a cartoon and a real person, but watching real people act like other people, that wires your brain differently. That hits your brain differently because you're seeing real people. And low-key, you're gonna start to think it's real. Especially if you started watching movies from a young age, man. That's why you watch Power Rangers, you watch Batman when you're a kid. What do you tell your parents you want to be? I want to be Batman. I want to be a Power Ranger. I want to be this and I want to be that because you saw it on the TV. And your child brain has not yet established that this is not reality. It actually thinks that that is real. That you can become Superman, you can become Batman, you can become Spider-Man. So imagine how damaging that is to a person when they've grown up their whole entire life watching fake shit defined in 2 hour montages or highlights and thinking that that is reality. I honestly believe that's why there's a lot of people with mental health issues, is because when they were young, they watched a movie, they saw what they wanted to see, something that they could probably achieve or become, and because of that, when they see their life is not turning out the way that a movie is turning out, they start to get depressed. They're like, why is my life like this? Why is it so shit? Why is it so boring? Not realizing that that's just a normal life, man. That's just a normal life. It's gonna get boring at times. It's gonna be fun at times. It's just gonna be a roller coaster of emotions. It's never gonna be constant. So you see how much it's toyed with your perception, because you start to question yourself, you start to question your life, you start to question where you are on your journey, because you saw something that was not real. And it's going to kill your ambition, it's going to kill your drive. That's just one way it kills it. I'll give you another example further down the line, but we'll double down on this. That's one way that it kills your drive and your desire. Because once you go and try and imitate what you see on the movie, because that's what we do as human beings, we imitate, we watch others, we learn from our parents, we learn from our teachers, we learn from fellow students. Once you go try imitate that movie, in real life there's no background music. It's silence, it's just you. In real life, you're gonna get tired. You're gonna get sweaty. You're gonna be beat down. You're gonna have to guard in the sun. Hot as fuck, it's burning. You're gonna have to go in the rain. It's cold. Through a screen you don't feel any of those things. And you even see with the movie industry, they've tried as much as they can to make it as realistic as possible, you know, with 3D, 4D in some cases. But essentially what they're trying to recreate cannot be recreated because it was not created by man. You can't recreate life. Life is not man-made. It's made by something that we can't even understand at the moment. A movie is man-made. You can understand a movie. They can tell you how they made the water come down. They can tell you how they made the sun come up. But you can't tell me why the sun goes up and why it comes down in real life. Why it's even there. You can't. So you see how these things that you use to entertain your mind when you're bored are actually hurting you, and they're actually a disadvantage for you because it's killing your perception, man. And it's going to make you lazy and unmotivated because you expect your life to be like a 2-hour clip when this is 20, 30, 40, 50 years of hard, solid work. I won't even say hard work, solid work, consistent work. All you have to do is be consistent, really. You don't really have to work that hard. Unless if you're a person who calls being consistent hard work. But all you really have to do is be consistent. But a movie is not going to tell you that, bro. A movie is going to show you the hero who comes in. He used to be a skinny motherfucker. No muscles. Nobody liked him in school. And then he got bit by a spider right there. And he woke up the next day. Big ass arms, nice six pack. And now all the ladies want him. You see, it's not going to happen in real life, buddy. It's not going to happen like that. There's no change that is just instant. The only thing that's instant is death. No change like that is going to be instant. Life is about evolution. It's about growth. It's not about changing things in an instant. There are things changing right now. And the results of it are only going to be shown in 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 200,000 years from now. But life is a constant. It's about being consistent with your actions, with your desires. So when you watch something like that where someone just happens to stumble upon a pot of gold, that is not reality, man. And don't let that dumb you down and make you less ambitious, because once you go and try it out in the real world and you see that it's not like the movie, what do most people do? They give up and they quit up until they watch another movie, and then another movie comes, gives them that same feeling, triggers their stimulants in their head, and what do they go on and do? They start the process again. Okay, now this time I want to be Cristiano Ronaldo. I just watched this movie, now I want to be like him. And then you go outside, you start You get your cones, you get your ball, you start doing your drills 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and you start to see this is repetitive. It's actually quite boring because you're doing the same things over and over again. But it's because you saw it on a highlight reel that you thought it was going to be the thing that gets you out of that mental rut that you're in. But it's not, because it's not real life. You can't take 20 years, 30 years of experiences and put them in a 2 hour clip. A 2 hour clip that is manipulated to be as entertaining as possible and to trigger dopamine as much as possible. So even then, it could be a true story, but it's still being manipulated to entertain you. Because if most of these people gave you the full script of what they had to go through to create some of these movies, you'll see it's very boring, it's very tedious work. A 2 hour movie takes how many months to make, how many years possibly to make, only for you to see 2 hours of something that possibly took 3 years to make. But then you don't have that understanding. All you do is you just see the finished product, not understanding what went on behind the scenes, the amount of consistent dedication and work that people had to strive for to create something that you're ultimately going to consume. So you see how movies manipulate you, bro. I honestly tell you, it's much better for you to be watching anime or the Boondocks or South Park or whatever, because that's not real, and your brain can distinguish a person who's in real life and a person who's drawn on paper. But now when it's a movie, it's hard to distinguish for your brain because it's literally seeing real people, even though the situations, the circumstances are going to be over exaggerated, and sometimes they're going to be untrue. So because of that, your brain cannot distinguish between reality and something that's on a screen. To your brain is the same thing. It's just like porn, bro. They always tell you this when people watch porn. They always tell you that your brain is going to react the same way as if it was having sex, even though you're watching it on a screen. I'm sure with sports it's the same exact thing, man. When you watch your favorite football team or your favorite basketball team or your favorite boxer, when you see him winning, it's going to make you feel like you're winning, but in reality you're not. You're far from winning because you haven't done what he's done behind the scenes for him to become a winner. You haven't put in your time, you haven't clocked your hours. So man, I tell you now, guys, stop watching these movies. That's just one reason why not to watch them, is that it's going to kill your perception. Another reason that you should stop watching movies is that movies trigger dopamine in your system. And what happens when you trigger dopamine in a person's system? They become satisfied and content with the circumstances that they are in. So every time you watch a movie, your attention is being taken from your actual real life. And you end up living in movies as opposed to living in the real world, where you actually have an opportunity to write the script of your own play. As opposed to a movie, bro, someone else wrote the script. You're just there to watch it. You have no control, no creative control. You don't get to choose the actors. You don't get to choose the lighting. You don't get to choose anything about the movie. So stop watching it so that you can create your own movie in real life. Don't let them hijack your dopamine for their pockets, when you can literally create your own life, create your own movie, and other people can come and watch that too. When you watch live sports, that's literally what you're watching. You're watching someone recreate their movie. For me personally, when I watch sports, these days, it's always from a perspective of trying to learn because I actually play the sport that I watch. So if it's football, I'm gonna watch Chelsea versus Real Madrid knowing that as much as it's entertaining me, I'm learning something at the same time. If I watch Boston Celtics versus Miami Heat, I'm gonna watch understanding that at the same time that I'm watching this, I'm learning something that I could possibly use the next time I go to play with the boys, the next time I go to play with the team. So when you watch something, it should always be from an educational perspective and not from an entertainment standpoint, because there are better ways to entertain yourself. But the point of it is that ultimately they're hijacking your attention and they're hijacking your time. Time that could be spent crafting your own movie in real life. It's just that once you see it on TV, it's fucked up your perception. We're watching all these things 4K HD. Imagine how crazy your brain is going. And the technology is just getting deeper and deeper to make it more realistic. To make it feel like you're there when you're not. You're watching it on a screen, you're far from the action. You're thousands of miles away from the action, man. So don't be follower, man. Think about these things deeply, about the things that you do, the actions that you partake on a daily basis, and try to understand the hidden meaning. Context does not matter. You're going to hear me say this a lot of times, guys. Context does not matter. We don't care about the context. We just care about the way that you react and you respond, because that's going to show everything. Because there are a million ways that you can react and respond. So whatever you choose to do,